Yeah.
Hey, all right, we're finally live after like a minute. All right, hey everybody, welcome to Hump Day Hangouts. Today is the 5th of April, and this is episode 126. And we got almost the full crew here, so we'll do our thing and go around and do some introductions real quick, check in, and then we'll get rolling. So, Marco, give us the weekly weather update, man.
We're in our rainy season, dude. It's raining every afternoon. So if I cut out, storm rolled in and just washed me out.
But it's nice and warm, right? You know, you're not freezing down there, right?
Costa Rica, we have two types of weather: warm and sunny, or warm and raining. There's no other. It could be cold, 70 degrees cold, but other than that, no. Two things: it rains or it's sunny. And when it doesn't rain, it's like 4 or 5 months. So it's cool.
Oh, God. Well, Hernan, how's it going with you? You're entering what? It's fall for you, isn't it?
We're entering fall, and it's looking good. Well, the days are looking good. I just hope Webinar Jamstorm doesn't kick me out. That's all I'm hoping because I'm lagging. So anyways, it's good to be here, guys.
Cool. All right. Bradley, how you doing, man?
Did he say Webinar Jamstorm? Is that what he said?
Yeah.
Yeah, who knows when that thunderstorm's going to hit, right? It's a crapshoot every time. I'm good, man. I'm happy to be here. We got some good ready to go. Do we have any announcements?
Yeah, we do. We've got a webinar coming up on Monday, the Rocket Video Ranker. There, I think Bradley, remind me, have you used this or did you talk to these guys? I didn't person talk to them, so I didn't want to.
Yeah, it's Bill Cousins and Anthony Ares, and we did a webinar like a few weeks ago, but we had a webinar jam technical difficulty, and so we're gonna have a kind of an encore webinar. We didn't promote it real heavily before either, anyways, but I've had a chance since then to play a lot with the software, and I'm using the I had created for LiveRank Sniper as kind of like I'm extending those case studies and using this application with it as well, and it's really exciting. I've got some really good results. I think the two of those tools combined are really powerful. Use LiveRank Sniper to identify keywords that you can rank for with little to no SEO work, and then use this Rocket Video Rank filled channels full of videos that and it's really cool, the technique that's used, and it seems to be very effective. I've been testing it a lot over the last week, and so that webinar is coming up, and studies very much like what I did for LiveRank Sniper, same case studies. I'm just going to be extending those to after the fact. Like LiveRank Sniper identified the keywords. Now what do we do? And then that's where this new app picks up. That makes sense.
Cool. Yeah, definitely. All right. So link on the page. Definitely sign up. Come check it and be very interesting. And I got some good stuff to share. Also, Hernan's secretly in the background working on the finishing touches. Yeah.
Adam, can you turn your camera off? Because you're looking up pretty bad.
Just having an issue. It seems like everybody is. But yeah. Is this better?
I'll turn mine off as well then. How about that?
It's just creepy. I'm staring at a screen of faces. Anyways. All right. So we'll make this quick. She touches on some awesome stuff with the SEO battle plan. Hernan, you got anything you want to share with that? Or we're creeping closer. It's coming, guys. It's getting close.
Yeah, it is. And yeah, it's gonna be ready. I think it's gonna be ready for our own by the end of this week. Cool. But it should be ready. Yeah, but it should be ready to release over the next, I would say, week or two. Gotcha. Potentially, we'll tell you more about it, but it's coming up.
Yeah, definitely. And the mastermind members are going to get a early peek at that, but we'll more on that later. So, real quick, if you haven't joined us or you're new to us, by all means, please check out the Syndication Academy. I'm going to pop the link in there. If you're not a member, check it out. We've got some awesome stuff. It's a great place to start as well as to continue if you're looking for content syndication and all sorts of other good stuff. And it's something we definitely keep up to date with, update webinars and all sorts of good stuff. So I think that's about it for announcements. If you guys are good to go, I think we'll get into it.
Let's do it.
All right. I'm going to grab the screen. Hopefully this will work all right.
Cool. Got your whole screen.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
Man, that picture
All right,
is disturbing.
so very disturbing photo from Wayne again, as usual. Thanks, Wayne. He's going to be on with us for masterclass following today's webinar, I believe, which is going to be kind of cool. Paul Facey's up, and I could swear we answered this question last week. Can you guys confirm that we did answer this last week? Hey, Bradley, what are your thoughts on coding the go.gl to our videos and channel into our syndicate? I think somebody asked about doing that. That might have been Paul, actually.
Yeah.
He asked about using that for AdWords ads. Remember?
Yeah, I think we already answered that. Yeah.
So this is the same question, except it's instead of it being for the landing page for the AdWords campaigns, it's for videos and channels, so YouTube channel. Yeah, I mean the answer is still the same, Paul. I mean essentially it's the same answer from last week, except last week we were talking about quality score. The Google short links are good for when you want Google to know what's happening with the link at all times. Like, in other words, you can send, we talked about using crowd search, for example, using the go.gl short link strategy for, let's say that you want to do a post on Tumblr or Blogger or WordPress or something like that, and you want to link to a web page or to, so you get the embed. That's great, but I'm talking about just a straight link, the Google short link, so that basically Google will know what's going on with that link and when it's clicked and coming from, and obviously it knows where it's sending it up in the redirect, right? But my point is you can set up referral traffic campaigns where you have crowd search go search for a phrase or something from your post, and then it finds your Tumblr property, clicks Tumblr property in the Google search results, clicks on it, and then once that page loads, it clicks on the go.gl short link, which takes you to the ultimate destination, either your money site or wherever you want to send traffic. It could be a video, whatever. And so you're allowing Google to inject analytics in that click stream. In other words, what activity is happening. And so now that's going to count as a referral, social referral, or just referral traffic, period. And, particularly from some sites. You can do this with Twitter, by the way, guys, because tweets will index. And that's a really good traffic signal to have clicks coming through from tweets, because those are really powerful social signals. And so that's something that you can absolutely do. I don't like spamming with Google links unless I'm spamming Drive Stack stuff. But I don't typically like to do a bunch of spam stuff. Like I wouldn't be building GSA links using go.gl short links, if that makes sense. We do use a lot of the Google short links in Drive Stacks and do some pretty cool stuff with that. And then also, like I mentioned, setting up social referral traffic. Those kind of things are always really good. But you want to just make sure that you're aware of where you're going to be placing that link, because I don't want Google knowing exactly what's going on some of the more spammy stuff that we do, if that makes sense. You guys want to comment on that at all?
No, I think you nailed it, Bradley. Because I would pretty much do the same as you described. So,
okay. All right. Next, he says, Bradley, if I change a Google site, does the Google site DA domain authority carry over to the custom domain? No, it does not. Marco and I were discussing this earlier. It does not carry over, but it doesn't matter because you still benefit from, like, guys, remember the domain of, like, the metric thing isn't so important anymore. I mean, at least according to the way that through our own testing and all of our properties and things like that, it's more about relevancy than it is about metrics, because metrics are proprietary. They're not Google's metrics. Moz's domain authority, page authority metrics, they're proprietary. Majestic's trust flow and topical trust flow, citation flow and citation flow, those are also proprietary metrics. So they're only measures or gauges of what they determine is the quality of a domain and its inbound link profile and that kind of stuff. So I stopped worrying about metrics well over a year ago now, and I really just don't care about them anymore. But specifically to mapping a custom domain to a Google site domain, you won't get the metrics carrying over. Again, I could care less about the metrics, but you will get benefit. you will get the benefit of using the Google sites because it's Google's own property, and Google knows your domain's mapped to it, and it wants to rank its own properties. That's Google's narcissism at work. And so, and I know because I've proved this across several different tests, some of which are in like the RYS Academy local case study, but where I mapped a custom domain over to a Google site and ranked it in the maps pack almost overnight. And just using the Google sites. It's a horrid site. The site looks awful, but it's ranking, and it's been ranking, and I haven't had to do anything else to it. So, again, you will benefit from mapping the domain over. The domain metrics won't care. Marco, I know you probably wanted to comment on that. Am I right?
The only thing that I would add is what we're looking for is the canonical. That's it. That's it. Once we get that, then we have all the benefits we need.
That's right. And what you'll notice is when you do map a custom domain to a Google site, you'll still be able to see the site on both URLs, your own custom domain and the Google Sites domain. And if you look at the page source, you'll see that the canonical was set from the Google site over to the custom domain. So both pages will exist, but you'll see the canonical is set to what your custom domain is. Bill says, "What's up with Fred?" From what my understanding is that it's a low quality content, and people that have too much ad space on their sites, and also low quality content. That's from what my understanding is what happened with, or what the Fred update was about. However, from some, I haven't done a lot of research on it, guys, because I didn't really have any issues with it. But my point is, I read that there was, I don't know, Google, if this was, they're always throwing smoke screens out. Google is, but apparently that's, like, from now on, that's what the updates are going to be called, is just Fred. And I don't know whether that's true or not, but that's what I had heard. And so from what my understanding is, there's a pretty good blog, Systrix. I don't know if you guys are familiar with this, but sistrix.com. They've got a blog, and they analyzed about 300 websites from the Fred update. And this, what they determined, at least what they saw, the vast majority of sites that got hit, that they analyzed, it was because they had poor content, like low quality content, and also ad spaces and too many ad blocks, like too many ad spaces within the page to make it difficult for viewers to read the content, right? And so that's what I hear from the little bit of research that I've done. That's basically my understanding of it. Do you guys have any other additional insights about it?
No, because I think it's all a smokescreen. It's the same stuff, just relabeled. If it's quality, then we know what it is, and if it's link based, if it's content quality, we know what it is. If it's link based, we know what it is, and so let them call it what they want. It's always the same thing, and if you're following our training, if you're following the syndication strategy, the RYS strategy, then you can just, well, I can't say it. I can't drop an F-bomb on Hump Day Hangout. Sorry. You can just say screw Fred and screw Penguin and Panda, and then whoever else comes along, slap him in the ass and tell him to get along.
There you go. All right, Ivan's up. He says, "Hey guys, I have created 2 branded tier 1 syndication networks. The first one is attached to my main branded domain, which is an aged domain. The second network I created recently doesn't have a website yet. Now I want to create a new website for the second brand. How can I use my age domain to help my new brand domain? Both are in the same general niche. Thank you." Let's see. First one, main branded domain, which is an age domain. The second network, now I want to create a new. How can I use the age domain to help your new domain? Well, I mean, the only thing I could think of right off the top of my head would be to link over to it, which you could do, and you could do it in an actual, like, legit way too. Like, for example, let's say that you take the new domain that you're setting up, and the one that you want to push authority to, right? And so let's say that you publish it, put a good page or a good post on the site, good content, right? Something that's of value, and then link to it from your age domain, right? From you can do that, and you can actually curate a piece of that content from the new domain on your old domain. That's probably how I would do it, because then it would be absolutely legit, right? They're in the same topical category anyways. And if you have good content that other people would want to link to and possibly reference, which is what you'd be doing if you curate a snippet of that content, then it's perfectly normal for people to do that. And so it wouldn't cause any issues. You know, off the top of my head, the first thing I would thought about is like put a footer link in, right? But no, that's because that can actually get you into trouble. So you're better off doing something like just referencing, like curating a piece from the new domain on the existing or age domain, and then give an attribution link to where you got it. That's going to push good authority over to that site. Or you could just do a straight, you know, standard typical link. But I prefer using the curated method because then you're like referencing the content and everything else. That's my own preferred method. But that's what I would do. I would just curate a new piece of content from the new domain onto the existing or aged domain, and then just link via attribution to cite the source. Any other ideas, guys? Okay, Derek's up.
We're lagging. Sorry. But
okay, no worries. Derek's up. He says, how and where do you write the schema for images? Well, as far as I know, there are microdata tags for images, so you can wrap an image within the content with basically microdata tags. I know you can also, use JSON LD header scripts that you can link or reference the image URL and still wrap it in whatever structured data that you want within the code itself, because all it does is reference the element later on the page within the header. That's another way you can do it. I know you can also write JSON LD directly in the post body now, or article body as well. How and where do you write the schema for images? So it really just depends on, I guess, what's going to be required for the particular page or site that you're working on. Marco, you want to comment on that a little bit?
No, I think you answered it perfectly. I mean, there's two ways to do it. Those are the two ways. You go with JSON, or you go with HTML. It depends on what it is that you want to do and how deep you want to go into schema.
Mm-hmm. Well, there you go, Derek. It really just depends. Like, so obviously, microdata is beneficial at times to use because you can mark up elements within the content body. I know, again, JSON LD, apparently you can do that as well. I've never done that. I've only used JSON LD as a header script before, and I've used microdata within the post bodies. So if you can, that's typically the way that we would do it. Either mark up the actual element within the body of the article itself, or put it in the JSON LD header. And there's JSON LD Builder, by the way, structured data builder in SerpSpace. It's a free tool, right, guys? I mean, that's part of it. Or do we have, as long as you have a subscription or a membership, even if it's free, you get access to the JSON LD tool, correct? That one was for Adam, really.
Yep. Sorry, I was copying something onto the page, and honestly, we didn't hear what the question was.
SerpSpace, the JSON LD builder, that's available for anybody that has even a free membership, correct?
Yeah, and I'll pull up the link and paste it on the page. If you don't have an account, hop over there, create one. It's free, and then you can use it. Okay,
there you go. And I don't know if there's image markup in it or not. I have to take a look. I haven't played with it yet, but I know that that's a recently added tool that's available.
Ooh,
so nice. Columbia Jones is up. Oh, by the way, there's Derek. Let me point this out while you guys are on. Hopefully, last time I looked for these, my bookmarks are all screwed up. But let's see if I can pull up a couple of them here. This is it right here, one of them. I want to pull up 3 articles. These are my 3 go-to articles, guys, for any time I have to deal with JSON LD or any sort of microdata markup, structured data markup. That's what I was looking for, that word. So let me just drop these links here for you guys in just a moment. And these are hands down the best, the 3 best articles that I've ever come across, or at least I haven't been searching for any other articles since I've collected these 3. They're really, really good. This one, especially the Built Visible one, is really, really good. And so you can go through here. These guides are, every time I have to do anything with structured data, I just always come reference these because it's not something I know off the top of my head. I always have to come double check everything as I do it. So. Okay, check those out. Those are really, really good articles. Next. Columbia Jones says, what is the SEO impact of including other people's videos in a playlist on your channel? Is that a good idea? And if so, are there any particular suggestions for things to do or not to do when you add it to your playlist or feature other people's videos on your channel? Thanks. Columbia, yeah, you can actually siphon some authority and actually end up rubbing, like being associated with other like high trafficked videos. Let me explain. If you take other people's content, particularly videos that have a lot of views and a lot of social activity, like comments and likes and that kind of stuff, and you add them to a playlist, then especially if in your videos, the ones that you have control over, if you go scrape the tags from the videos that you're going to add to your playlist that aren't yours. So you can do a right click and do a view page source on the watch page and look at the tags. There's tools out there that can scrape tags, whatever. Just find out what the tags are and try to find, match a couple of the tags, particularly if there's a brand tag in the video that you're going to be adding to the playlist. Like if there's a channel name tag, some people do that. They'll always put their brand name or their channel name in the tag section. And what you can do is take 2 or 3 of the tags from the video that you're adding to your playlist, and then also the channel name, and add that as a tag for the channel that it's coming from. And what happens is your video, because it's in a playlist alongside those videos, and you end up having some of those tags in your videos, then what you'll end up with, oftentimes your video will show up in the related videos section on the right-hand side when people are watching the really popular videos. So it's a way to siphon traffic, in other words. And you can rub off, like you can glean some authority from just being in close proximity to those videos. And then when you use that tag trick, you'll end up starting to get listed in the right-hand sidebar for the related videos. And then also you can start coming up at the end screen when the video ends, and there's the suggested videos that comes up, at the end, and you can just click inside the video player and go to the next video or whatever. You'll start popping up in there too. And so if you use that particular method, it's not so much, there's probably some SEO benefit to it as well, because first of all, you're adding, a topically themed or topically relevant video to a playlist. So that's going to increase the, reinforce the theme of that playlist, if that makes sense. But just take the SEO portion out of it for a minute, you'll get additional traffic. And that's huge for YouTube SEO, if that makes sense, guys. Just engagement on YouTube alone can rank videos with no additional SEO work. Just engagement alone can rank videos. And so, again, there's probably some SEO benefit to it. I mean, I know there is, but I think the bigger benefit is the actual traffic that you can get by doing so, if that makes sense. All right. Something else that you can do when you're linking, since if you're familiar with the YouTube silo method and using playlists, we always talk about within the video description of every video that we put in a playlist, we always link back up to the playlist. And then depending on what type of silo structure you're using will determine what other types of internal links you're going to link with from within the description area. But guys, let's not forget about comments in YouTube. YouTube comments or internal comment links are do follow links within YouTube. So they're very, very powerful. All right. So what you want to do with when you set up a YouTube silo is you can go into the comments and comment and then add a link to the next video or to the playlist or to both, depending on how you want to set it up. Well, you can do the same thing with other people's videos because you can't go edit the other people's videos descriptions, right? You don't have the access to edit their descriptions. However, you can add their video to one of your playlists and then put a relevant comment that adds value into the comment section of that other person's video and mention, you can, and it's not 100% success rate, by the way. Sometimes they're going to get moderated out, but sometimes they'll stick. I know because I've done it. And you could write into the comment section and say something like, hey, great video. I really liked this point that you made, and like make sure that it's somewhere in the middle of the video that you're referencing so that they know that you watched the video. And that's just a way to get the comment to stick. And then say, your video is so awesome. Like I put it, don't lay it on that thick, but it's a good video. By the way, I compiled a playlist of other videos around this same topic, blah, blah, blah. You can check it out here and you can link to the playlist. So now you're actually funneling authority and link juice from that highly trafficked, high high authority YouTube video through the comment section up to your playlist where that video also resides along next to all of your other videos. Does that make sense? And so you'll not only get the SEO benefit, but you'll also get people clicking in the comment section on your playlist URL and sending traffic to your playlist. Again, another positive signal. Okay. So you can absolutely do that. Like I said, you just, when you got to manipulate the comment section because you don't have access to description. And so you have to be a little bit like, you have to social engineer your comment to where it's likely to stick and not be moderated out as spam. Okay. All right. Next, Jordan. Okay. He says, apologize for having to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Can I just jump in real quick? He asked the same question in the Syndication Academy group. Can we answer it there? Because it's kind of, but not kind of. It's a silo question.
Okay.
And gets intricate. And so I think it's better answered either there or masterclass or mastermind. I'm not sure Jordan isn't either one, but I think this is higher level than Hump Day.
Yeah, sure. That's fine. Jordan, you hear that? Well, you said this was already posted in Syndication Academy?
Yes, I remember seeing it earlier.
Okay. All right. If we can, we'll make it a point to jump over there and comment on it. I'm going to probably need to be reminded of that, though, so let me make a note of it, I guess. Just a moment.
I can go in and look for his question and tag you.
Yeah, please do, if you don't mind.
Yep.
And that way we can give him some proper attention. All right, Jordan, we're going to skip your question for now because he's right. If I get into silo stuff here, first of all, it'll take up the rest of the webinar. Second of all, it'll confuse a lot of people that aren't as advanced yet, or, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, we'll answer that in Syndication Academy, Jordan. Harvey's up. He says, I paid someone to create an IFTTT network for my YouTube channel. Is there a simple way to check to see if it's actually set up and working? Yes, I uploaded a video to my YouTube channel and checked one of my many blogs to see if it was sent. I didn't see the video forwarded to the blog. Does it take days or seconds for the IFTTT links to become active? Well, Harvey, if it's set up right, it should be within an hour of you uploading a video or live streaming a video, provided that the video was public on your channel. So like when you upload a video, if it's set to unlisted or private, it's not going to syndicate. But if it's set to public, it will. And it should within an hour at tops. It used to be that it would take up to about 15 minutes, but IFTTT, they've changed it now on free accounts and such. I think it can take up to an hour. But just be aware that sometimes when you first connect a syndication network and you send out your first post, whether it's a blog post with RSS syndication, or if it's a YouTube syndication network, it doesn't matter. Sometimes that first post won't syndicate to many of the properties, if not all of them. And that's why we always call priming the network, right? So you have to post a couple posts to first of all, test to make sure everything's working. And then usually by the second or third post, everything seems to be firing. Something that you can do is what I would suggest doing is if you upload a second video and you make sure that it's set to public and you still see that it hasn't syndicated within an hour or so, you can log in to IFTTT and just go to the services menu, the drop down, hit services, and that's going to pull up all of the channel. They used to be called channels, but now they're called services. So like all the apps that are connected, Blogger, WordPress, Tumblr, your YouTube channel. Start with the trigger, reconnect the trigger. So what I mean by that is go to Firefox, clear your browser, cache cookies, whatever, log into that YouTube account, okay, that's supposed to be the trigger for the network. Then log into IFTTT, go to services menu, search for YouTube, click on YouTube, click settings, and click reconnect or edit connection. And that's your trigger. Always start with reconnecting your trigger first before starting to reconnect your action channels, because a lot of times if it's your trigger channel, obviously it's not going to work correctly for any of your actions that you've got set up. So again, start with reconnecting your YouTube channel, then test again. Try to upload another video, see what happens. And that's why it's important to test, guys, before you like set up a marketing campaign with your new network and then like start publishing content to your blog or to your YouTube channel. Make sure it's working first.
If I can add something.
Yep.
Because this came up during a webinar that we just did of why people should purchase things from us and be originators, from the ones who actually created the training and trained the VAs, to do it correctly. If you had come to us, we would be doing all of this for you, Harvey, instead of you having to go and find out why your IFTTT network doesn't seem to be working correctly. And if it's our issue and if we cause it, we would do everything that's in our power to get it right, or to do right by you, because we've done it before. We've gone in and fixed it and changed it and done tons of things when we don't deliver the product as promised, which we usually tend to do. That there's always human error, because we have people creating these networks, hooking them together, whatever. So sometimes something slips. And so when this happens, you can come to us and say, hey guys, I'm having problems. What can I do? Instead of having to figure out now you're going to spend your valuable time fixing something that should have been fixed by the person who delivered it. This is one of the reasons why. This is why.
I agree with that. And it's only, the thing is part of the process, remember, our networks are built 100% manually, guys. There is absolutely zero automation used. Okay. And so it's 100% manually built by hand. And our team of builders, they know as part of the process to set that, to publish a seed post or a video or whatever to test it. And that's, so again, just Harvey, it's kind of a pain in the ass if you got to do it yourself. I totally agree, but you should check it anyways. I mean, even when you get them from us, guys, make sure you check them, because they're, sometimes, and it's just the nature of the syndication network. Sometimes IFTTT doesn't fire correctly, and it could be just a simple, it could just be that you need to upload a second video or publish a second post and it will start to fire correctly. But sometimes it's just a matter of reconnecting the channels because something happened and the connection was lost. Even though it might show that it's connected, just reconnecting the channel, reauthorizing IFTTT to that app will help it to start firing correctly.
He can go to ServSpace and monitor his networks. I mean, we have that available in ServSpace.
Okay, Alexander is up. He says, what's up, guys? Shit, I can't believe I lost Marco's webinar. Damn. Question about selling networks. How do you guys approach the selling? You explain the syndication idea and then sell the network, sell links and use a network to it, or just sell the results. You'll rank, just post on the blog. I see the network selling as a huge opportunity to make money while getting new clients and learn more about SEO, semantic mastery style. All right, Alexander, the way that I sold them when I was selling a lot of networks to local businesses is I would come at it at more of the social media approach than SEO, because SEO, like, you start talking SEO with most local businesses and you're going to turn them off. Their eyes are going to glaze over, or they've already been, had some shitty experience with some idiot that didn't know what they were doing or whatever, and they've lost money, blah, blah, blah. So I try to approach it as more of the social media and the content marketing side of things. So what I do when I was selling a lot of networks to businesses, I would talk about, I would always ask questions. There's a great book, I believe it's called Spin Selling, and it's a way that you the process for like pitching and closing clients is asking questions to where you're asking them questions that leads them to actually answer your questions in a way that that leads them to realize that your solution is the best fit for them. And so what I would always do is start asking the business owner, or are you marketing? Are you doing any social media marketing? And most of the time people would say no. And I would ask them, may I ask you why you're not doing social media? And then they would tell me about how complicated it was. And there's too many different networks to post to. And it just takes too much time. And how are they supposed to do that when they're running their business? And all this, and you let them start talking about all these pain points as to why they're not doing it, even though that they know they should. Because you mentioned, you say that, like, are you doing social media marketing? Would you agree, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, that you should have a presence on Facebook and potentially Twitter and maybe even LinkedIn, depending on what type of business they have, and maybe have a YouTube channel, because there's so much traffic there and there's a lot of customers hanging out in those areas that need your products or services. Wouldn't you agree that it's pretty important to have a presence on those, and not just a presence, but be active on a regular basis? Oh yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Well, why aren't you there then? May I ask what's preventing you or stopping you from having all of those working for you, 24-hour-a-day salesmen and saleswomen sending leads into your business without you needing to be there. Like, oh, because it's too complicated, there's too many properties, there's too much setup, I don't have the time, I'm running my business, somebody's got to manage all of those properties, blah, blah, blah. And that would be a perfect lead in for me to say, well, what if I was to show you a way where we can get all of those properties populated with content consistently, and all you have to do is manage one property, meaning like your blog. And in fact, what if I was able to provide you your blogging services as well? Like, you know, if you didn't even have to worry about that, what if we were to update your social media, all of your properties, and update your blog on a weekly basis, blah, blah, blah. That's what I would do. So Alexander, I didn't sell the networks as standalone networks because that wouldn't do anything for the client, right? That wouldn't do anything for the business. I would always use it as a way to sell them on content marketing services, if that makes sense. Because I would tell them, you know, what good is having a presence on all of these social media networks if you don't have content, right? You have to be posting regularly. And why, Mr. or Mrs. Business Owner, haven't you been, you know, aren't you content marketing? You're aware of the fact that it's important to update social media properties. You know that it can provide results, but why aren't you doing it? Again, let them talk about all the reasons why it sucks and they hate it and they don't want to do it. But they know that it's valuable. Let them, you know, that's the whole point, is you constantly allow them to keep talking themselves into why they need somebody to do it. And then you're that person. And so that's what I would do. I would always sell the networks as a front-end sale that would lead me to ongoing marketing services such as content marketing. Now, if it, you know, obviously sometimes, a lot of the time, search engine rankings or positioning would come up, but I always try to approach it as a content marketing service more than anything else because they seem to grasp that more than search engine optimization. You can use that as kind of an added benefit, right? My point is you can sell it to them as a content marketing service, and this is going to be your syndication network, that your brand announcement channel, right? You can state it that way. You could say this is going to give you ubiquity, right? You're going to be ubiquitous on the web. Your brand is going to be all over the place, and your content is going to constantly be getting in front of people to remind them that you're there because you've got this syndication network, and you're producing content and publishing content on a consistent basis that's useful or helpful or blah 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 to your customers and your services, your clients, your customers and clients, right? And then you could say, but as a benefit, for doing this, this being in front of people and getting your brand out there, out across the web, as many places as you can, as a benefit of that, you should also start to see your search rankings, your search positioning start to increase. So your rankings will improve. If we set it up correctly, we can get it to where that would be an added benefit. Like that's an additional benefit of being in front of your customers and building an audience. And so if you approach it that way, guys, that was the easiest way for me to sell them. And I mean, at the height of me selling syndication networks to local businesses, I would sell, you know, anywhere between 6 to 10 of them a month. And I would sell them at $600 or $700 a piece. And I was outsourcing them for about $50. So, I mean, there's a lot of money to be made. In selling syndication networks. So just so you guys know, I remember there was a marketplace like SEO Clerks or something like that. I don't remember the name of the site, but I put up a listing. This is before Syndication Academy was made public, guys. This is when I was just using it for my own business. And I had already trained some virtual assistants to build them for me. And I was selling them to local businesses, but I put up a sales page on one of these like SEO Clerks sites, or like Conquer. It's similar to that, right? And I put up a page that said, you know, I'll build these IFTTT networks. I put the graphic up and I sell like 200, I think I said 200 or maybe it was 199 or something like that per network. And I was outsourcing them at that point. I had virtual assistants full-time basically on staff, working for me for full-time, building networks. Some of those, by the way, those two original builders are still with us today. They're the SERP space builders now. They're one of them is the team leader actually, but this was, 4 years ago. And I put this listing up and I said, like, I think it was $199 or something like that. And I had a guy from Australia contact me. He was an SEO agency owner, and he contacted me and said, man, I really like the idea of these things, these syndication networks. Would you be able to produce volume for me? Like if I was to buy 10 at a time, for example. And I was like, hell yeah. So I sold them 10 at a time, 10 networks at a time, just branded tier 1 networks, guys. I sold them 10 networks at a time for $1,000, so $100 per network. And I was outsourcing them for roughly $45 to $50 a piece. So I ended up basically doubling my money for doing nothing. I would just collect the details and send them over to my virtual assistants. And he was on a volume buyer. Like, this guy ended up buying like 20, 30 networks a month for several months in a row. And so that was just another nice stream of income, just selling wholesale networks to an SEO agency. And it's just because all I did was have my virtual assistants that were building for me. I just kept feeding them the work. And this is something that you guys can do, because if you have access to Syndication Academy, we've told you, if you want to hire your own virtual assistants and put them through the training, do it. Like, we're totally cool with that, guys. You can buy them from us too, by the way, and you can just resell our own the networks that we build, and you don't even have to hire your own virtual assistants. And that's an even better way, because then you know that they're up to specs, to our standards. So anyway, just wanted to mention that because, again, Alexander, if you approach it from not an SEO standpoint, you'll scare more people away if you start mentioning links and backlinks and Google SEO and all that stuff. Approach it from a content marketing and a social media and brand building, a branding thing. If you do that, you'll end up landing more clients that way.
And
Okay.
I would just add a caution: don't sell rankings. You can't do that. You can't guarantee them. Just guarantee traffic. You can guarantee results, just not traffic. I'm sorry, just not rankings. There's no way.
Awesome. All right. Shane's up. He says, question regarding drive stacks. I put one together, and the next day I had 2 Google Plus posts, rankings, Google Plus posts. He was probably seeing personalized results, positions 3 and 4 for my top keyword. Then I thought, how can I mess this up? And I went into one of the posts and added a link. The next day, poof, they were gone and haven't returned. Should I scrap the stack and rebuild, keep sending links to drive properties, or route it out? Okay, Shane, if you saw a Google Plus post in the search results, there's about an 80% chance that it was because you're seeing personalized results when you searched. I would recommend that what I mean by that, guys, is like, if we go over here to Google for a minute, let's just search for something. I don't know. What should I search for? I'm just going to look for our own semantic mastery. All right. So if I come over here, if you see right here where it says settings, you see how it says, let's see, where is search settings? Turn on, maybe because I have it turned off. I don't know. There's usually where it says hide private results. I have it. I think that's because I have it actually turned off in my Chrome settings. But if I go into Firefox and do it, same thing. You'll see, like, if I log into a profile in Firefox and I search like through one of my mini personas, and I see a Google Plus post, a lot of times there will be a little square image too alongside of it. Then I know that my personalized results are showing, and so I'll come up and I'll click that. They've changed the SERPs again recently as far as like the tools and stuff. But you click settings and you'll see it'll say hide personalized results. And if you click that, it'll refresh the page and those posts will be gone. Okay, that's chances are that's what you saw. I mean, yes, Google Plus posts are indexing, guys, but it's rare that you see a Google Plus post on page 1 or even the first couple pages for a keyword. It's not impossible, but it's rare. Most of the time when you see Google Plus posts in search results, it's because it's showing personalized results. Okay, so first of all, I would say turn that off. Something that you can do, Shane, is open up a different browser. I use Firefox as my SEO browser because I always clean cache and cookies, so that I can, have a clean browser, a clean search environment with no cookies, no cache, no browsing history, so that I can see more like, I guess, normalized results, if that makes sense. All right, but as far as that, just one moment. The other thing is, I noticed, I know you're talking about Google Plus posts, but drive stack properties, they will bounce in and out of the index, especially when they're new. They'll bounce in and out for a while. I don't know maybe Marco has some insight on how long that happens, but eventually they'll settle in and they should stick. Go ahead, Marco.
No, I was going to add that for people who want to know, in Chrome now, you just go into settings, search settings, and you check whether you want to use private results or not to use them. That's how that's filtered out now. And as far as getting things to show or not, or drive files and folders and whatever, ranking and not ranking, they'll not only come in and out of the rankings, they'll come in and out of the index. And so it depends on how often you hit them. It depends on what else you're doing. If you're adding properties, everything depends, right? Everything on the web depends on other actions, and it's something that you can't control. But eventually, once it clears, if you just set it and leave it alone, if you can, I can't wait that long. But it's around the 60 to 70 day mark. You'll see that it finally just settles and sticks, and like the SEO Virginia result, you can't. It's been unmovable for 2 years. 2 years. Yep. It's coming on its birthday.
And Shane, that's what I'm trying to say about the drive files is they'll bounce a lot when you first set them up. They'll bounce in and out of the index a lot. But after, like Marco said, I don't know what the threshold is, but I know that after several weeks they'll end up settling in and sticking and staying indexed. And that's what I'm seeing. I've got a case study that we're doing for the local Kingpin right now, which, oh, by the way, I forgot to mention this at the beginning. Anybody that bought local Kingpin, we just added the Facebook ads for local modules that Hernan recorded. That was just added today. It's module 8 in local Kingpin. So you've got that full video training series about Facebook ads for local. And I forgot to mention that at the beginning. But yeah, one of the properties for that local case study was a My Maps, Google My Maps. And it was bouncing a lot, but now it's permanently placed on page 1. And it's been there for many weeks now. So those are one of those things that just takes time. But once it settles in, they typically stick and they won't budge. All right. BizTrend says, hey, Bradley and the whole team. Bradley, what is the number one thing you use Browseo for relating to your local marketing efforts? Right now, for me, I'm using it a ton for YouTube because I'm doing a lot of YouTube spam stuff. For about a year, I'd gotten away from doing much spam stuff because I was doing all paid traffic. I'm still doing the paid traffic, but recently, just because of a couple tools, LiveRank Sniper and now Rocket Video Pro or Rocket Video Ranker for next week, I've had to start spamming the web with YouTube again. And it's been fun. I kind of missed my spamming days, and it's kind of fun to get back into the swing of things. But I'm using Browseo. I mean, I've got it open right here. You can see I've got Browseo. I mean, I'm in it all the time now. I think this is like for somebody that's been in SEO as long as I have been. I never used Scrapebox, and people used to say that's blasphemy. How could you be an SEO and not use Scrapebox? Well, I can see Browseo as being like that tool now. And they just opened up a monthly recently too, by the way. So I use it just so I can log in and out of properties now with assigned IPs or proxies and start building. And I started building digital footprints for these personas here because guys, I was just telling Shane about using Firefox for doing all your SEO activities, and I constantly am cleaning that browser, right? And I'm doing the same process that we teach in Syndication Academy. You clear browsing history. If you have the add-on bar in Firefox, and then you use the proxy tool, which is a plugin and you right click and do clean ever cookie and clear flash cookies, and then you close down the browser, then you run CCleaner, and then you open up the browser again, and then you swap out proxies. If you're using proxies, you got to go into Foxy proxy. It's just a pain in the ass. And not only that, but every time you log into every time you switch profiles, you go through that process and you wipe the browser clean. And now you log back in and you're logging into a clean session with no browsing history, no cookies, no footprint at all, right? And so it looks a bit odd. And one of the ways that Google is validating entities now, guys, is it's looking for those digital footprints. That's why Syndication Academy works so well when we build out these syndication networks, because we're claiming our digital footprint and we're telling Google, this is us. This is us all over the web, and here we're interlinking everything so that there's no mistake made that this is us, right? Well, the same thing occurs with our profiles. You want to start building digital footprints with your profiles. Browseo gives us is a tool that allows us to do that. Every time I log into any one of these profiles, guys, and all the different folders that I got and stuff here, I'm already logged in. There's a browsing history there. There's cookies that have accrued. So those are real live looking profiles to Google and to Facebook. You can actually create spam Facebook profiles in Browseo. I don't recommend doing it from your main IP, or like if you were doing it from home, after a couple login sessions and different login sessions, you'll end up with IP lock. But with Browseo, you won't get that. And so again, this is one of those tools, guys, that because I'm starting to do more spam stuff, and I'm still doing paid advertising, but I'm doing a lot more spam testing again. Browseo is like, it's just open from the moment I sit down in front of my computer till the moment I get off. Okay. Great tool, by the way. We're almost out of time. I see that, guys. P.S. Love the semantic rants from you all, and great to hear your perspectives on things not always related to SEO. Thanks. I appreciate that, Jeff. We really did that intentionally so that we could just connect with you guys more so than just on a training level. I think that's important. So he said, I was considering posting a rant question on how to install a chimney in one's butthole. Everyone go plus on that. That's
funny.
Awesome.
I already did.
To release all the smoke that is trying to be blown up there by some other SEOs. Just that's awesome. All right, guys, we've got oh yeah, okay. I'm going to answer Paul's question real quick, guys, and then we're going to wrap it up because we've got masterclass in just a couple minutes. And guys, anybody that is a masterclass member, be sure you're there today. We've got some announcements and things we're going to go through. We've got a couple special guests coming on too. All right. Paul says, Bradley, do you have anything planned as far as video training for Browseo in the pipeline? Funny you should say that, Paul. Actually, because I am using it so much right now, and during our corporate meeting yesterday, I brought that up with my partners and said, I think very well within the next couple months, I could have a how I use Browseo for YouTube spam training course. Or it's probably going to be on just I'm right now because I'm using it specifically for a lot of YouTube spam stuff. That's where at least my initial direction or thought is how I'm going to take this course. If I proceed with it, which I think I'm going to, I'm going to, do a training course on how I'm using Browseo and spamming the web and monetizing it. At the same time, it could end up morphing into something beyond just YouTube stuff. And it very may well, because as part of like building digital footprints, I'm going to be, have the profiles with Facebook accounts and LinkedIn accounts and all that kind of stuff. And I'm going to have to start building them as well. And we were talking about possibly, figuring out a way to set up like a process to where we could train virtual assistants on how to do that kind of stuff. And that might be something that could be included in the training. I don't know, guys. It's just a thought. These are just some ideas. So Paul, just know that it is being considered, and it's probably something that will come out within the next few months. Just remind me again from time to time, and I'll give you updates. All right. Okay, guys, we got to wrap it up to get ready for masterclass. Thanks everybody for being here.
Bye, everyone.
See you, everyone.